change. Like this is some real conversations that I've had with coaching students is they're thinking, well, what are my friends going to think? What are my family going to think? Like, what about my social circle? Like, hey, I've got friends that I go out drinking with every weekend. You know, we play cards, we go drinking, we play pool, we play darts, we do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
if what if I'm the health guy and I can't do that anymore?
Yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's a pressure. I mean, you as a musician, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you've been around the social scene, the nightclub scene, and all that. Like, have you dealt with that yourself in your own transformation?
Oh yeah, totally. I believe that the hardest part about getting into shape really is like the changing who you are, like fundamentally as a person.
Hmm.
That's a really hard thing to do. Like working out and doing an hour workout a day. It's really not that hard once you start doing it consistently over time. Like you start to just get used to the discomfort of working out and like the strain and everything, and actually you start to look forward to it in a way, and it really doesn't become an issue. And then diet, I mean, diet obviously brings its own struggles in there as well. I think the hardest part is changing who you are, like, because you really do, you don't just change like your body, you change who you are as a person in order to achieve serious goals like that. And it takes a really committed person, a really focused person, somebody with a really long-term vision, the ability to see and invest your time wisely and commit to that for over the courses of years, right? Where you start to see the benefit of doing it. When I was out of shape and everything, I know I used to partake in all the all the debauchery, if you will, right? But as I've grown older, I've just it's not that I don't participate in debauchery every now and then. It's just that I don't do it as often as I used to do it, and it's fine. I don't miss it because I my life has improved so much since I started making these changes that it motivates me to continue to do it. And I see the value in it now, and I'm living it. So when you start living it, you start appreciating it more and realizing the importance of it. It is different, and some of my relationships are different, and some of my connections with people are different, and my weekends certainly look a lot different than they used to. It's all good. It's all good stuff. It's all making me a better, more fulfilled human being. I'm here for it.
And it's interesting. Like this is 5 years into your fitness journey, if you will. Like made this shift. So I know in the early phases that was a challenge, and like it's almost like the crabs in the bucket mentality. Like when someone
Mm-hmm.
tries to succeed, and then you have your family and your friends. I mean, it's a weird dynamic because at first, if someone says, "Hey, I want to join the gym, I want to work out, I want to lose weight, I want to get in shape," you might get that initial, "Hey, good for you, go for it, yeah, way to go," that initial positive reaction. But if you
Right.
start following through and you're making it a reality, now it's almost like your social circle is almost, hey, what do you think, you're better than us? And you're making that disconnect because now if you're getting better, you're getting leaner, you're getting fitter, and then it's like, well, it makes me feel worse. Whereas, hey, I liked you better when you were fat because at least I didn't feel uncomfortable about me being fat.
Yeah.
So there's that disconnect, and it's almost like the crabs in the bucket. And I can even remember when I was younger and out to the nightclub scenes and all that stuff, people would always be pressuring you, hey, have a drink, have a this, have a slice of pizza, have some, you only live once, come on. And they're doing it and they want you to do it as well, so they enjoy it. And if I said, no, I don't want that, like, no, I don't want a drink, or no, I don't want the pizza, it's like, well, what's wrong with you? Like, you think you're better than us? Now, no, nobody would probably say this verbally, but it's kind of like that subconscious vibe that's going on, and it's
Oh yeah.
trying to pull you down.
Yeah, it's a very real thing. Like you're going to experience people trying to sabotage your progress as you're moving forward, especially once you start making visible and noticeable progress. People will see it and they'll be like, and then you start getting comments from people like, "Oh, you don't do this anymore," or "Oh, you're not that guy anymore." And then you have some people who are like, "Oh, well, you might lose some weight or anything like that, but you'll always have that chubby face." I remember that was somebody actually said that to me one time. They said, "Oh yeah, you might lose a couple pounds or anything like that, but you'll always have that chubby little face." And I was just looked at them and I was just like, it's like you're putting limits on me. You're telling me what I can and I cannot do. And those kinds of things, they just motivate me to keep moving forward. You don't want to take your advice from somebody who has never done it themselves. you want to surround yourself with people who are doing what it is that you want to do. And if you're more goal driven and less driven by the opinions of other people, especially opinions of other people who aren't actively doing what it is that you want to do, then you'll be successful because you have those horse blinders on. You're just moving forward and you're like, I'm going to just drown out all the noise and just keep moving in the direction I want to move in. And then you can look back years down the line and you can say to yourself, hey, despite all of the criticism, despite all of the negative feedback I was getting and all the self-limiting beliefs that I imposed on myself, I kept moving forward and I reached my goal, and look at me now. And there's no more fulfilling feeling in the world, in my opinion, than reaching the goals, the long-term goals that you set out for yourself.
I love that. Yeah. Isn't it ironic how people who are not exercising, who've never actually gotten in shape themselves, are always full of feedback and opinions and advice on diet and exercise?
Yeah. It's because they've never done it themselves, right? So to
I've-
them, it's like this astronomical, monumental thing to achieve.
but they have their opinions. They always have this. I remember back when I started lifting weights, when I was in my teenage years, a lot of my relatives and people who were senior to me, would say, well, you want to be careful with that because you build that muscle. Guess what? As soon as you stop working out, it's all going to turn to fat.
What?
They would all, that's what everyone would say. Like, hey, if you start building muscle now, right, as soon as you stop when you get older, it's all going to turn to fat. And I was thinking to myself, well, you're not working out and you're fat.
Yeah, right.
You've never built any muscle to turn to fat. Like, what's your excuse?
Yeah.
It's just interesting how people would throw these things out there. They're always full of opinions and giving me advice on something that they have zero experience with. Like,
you don't want to take fitness advice from somebody who is fat and out of shape. You don't want to take, financial advice from somebody who's broke poor. Like, before you accept advice, consider the source.